We're getting pretty deep into our look at the best footballer from every nation on Earth, with the continents of Europe, South America, and Africa all having been covered, and today we turn our attention to Asia. Home to almost 60% of the world's population, Asia is by far the most populous continent on Earth, but there doesn't seem to be strength in numbers when it comes to their footballing pedigree. South Korea's semi-final appearance in 2002 on home soil is the best performance by an Asian nation at the World Cup, and even that was shrouded in controversy, with North Korea's 1966 run to the quarter-final the previous best. As always, the nations featured are those affiliated with the Asian Football Confederation, which means we include Australia, and to be eligible, the player must be either a full international for that country or have been born there and not capped by any other nation. As with all the other videos, entrants are selected purely on current ability. Last time out, for Africa, we skimmed over some of the lesser known players and nations, which didn't go down very well, so we'll do our best to give the minnows a fair shout here, even though there's lots to get through. Apologies again if we don't have images of some of the more obscure inclusions. Here is the best footballer from every country in Asia. Afghanistan, KHAIBAR AMANI. Starting in alphabetical order, as we always do, takes us to South Asia and the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan. Ranked 146th in the FIFA World Rankings, Afghanistan's national team isn't blessed with a myriad of top-class players, and we'd say KHAIBAR AMANI was the pick of the bunch. An experienced German-born Afghan forward, Amani plays in the German 4th tier, and he has scored 7 goals from 17 caps for Afghanistan's national team. Australia, Aaron Mooy. Geographically located outside of Asia, but a member of the AFC for footballing purposes, Australia are the second highest ranked Asian nation in the FIFA World Rankings. The likes of Matthew Ryan and Tom Rogic probably warrant mentions, but our choice is Aaron Mooy, Huddersfield Town's talented and technical midfield playmaker. Bangladesh, Jamal Boyan. In a nation where cricket reigns supreme, Bangladesh's finest footballer was born in Denmark. Born in Copenhagen to two Bangladeshi parents, defensive midfielder Jamal Boyan is now back in Bangladesh, playing for Saif Sporting Club. Bahrain, Fawzi Ayesh. Another player born outside of the nation they represent, Fawzi Ayesh was born in Morocco, but he has won 103 caps for Bahrain. A really versatile footballer capable of playing anywhere on the left flank or in central midfield, Ayesh is a free agent at the age of 33, having spent his recent years playing in Qatar. Bhutan, Chencho. A genuinely dreadful footballing nation, the likes of Fiji and Barbados rank above Bhutan in FIFA's world rankings. By far and away the nation's finest player, Chencho Gelchen, better known simply as Chencho, is his country's all-time leading scorer with 10 goals at the age of 22. A versatile forward who plays his club football in the Indian Super League, Chencho has been nicknamed the Ronaldo of Bhutan in his native land. Brunei, FAIQ BOLKIAH. A player you may be familiar with, FAIQ BOLKIAH is the son of the Prince of Brunei and he plays for Leicester City's reserves. The captain of his national team at the age of 20, BOLKIAH was born in Los Angeles, and he is a quick and tricky wide man. Cambodia, Chan VATHANAKA. Another youthful captain of a national team, 24-year-old Chan VATHANAKA is Cambodia's best player by some distance. He scored 116 goals in 90 games for Bangkok in Cambodia, before trying his hand in Malaysia's top flight with FAHAD. VATHANAKA has scored 14 goals from 41 caps for Cambodia, who are currently managed by former Japan star Kazuki Honda. China, Wu Li. A huge star in China, Wu Li is the youngest Chinese professional footballer of all time, the best paid Chinese footballer in the world, and Shanghai SIPG's all-time leading goalscorer. Despite competition from the likes of Graziano Pella and Alexander Pato, Li is still the top scorer in the Chinese Super League this season, with 23 goals from 25 games. A direct attacking midfielder who scores plenty of goals from the penalty spot, Li has bagged 12 goals from 56 caps for the Chinese national team. Guam, AJ De La Garza. A familiar face to followers of the MLS, AJ De La Garza won 2 caps for the United States in 2012 before switching his allegiances to Guam in 2013. Now comfortably the nation's finest footballer, De La Garza is a versatile defender who plays for Houston Dynamo, having previously racked up more than 200 MLS appearances with LA Galaxy. Hong Kong, Sandro. The majority of Hong Kong's best players are Brazilian-born, and that goes for our pick as their finest player, Alessandro Ferreira Leonardo, better known simply as Sandro. A prolific striker who began playing in Hong Kong with Citizen at the age of 21, Sandro now plays for PSM in Indonesia. Indonesia, BOAZ Solossa. Speaking of Indonesia, they are our next nation. and their top player is another prolific forward in the form of BOAZ SOLOSSA. A quick and deadly striker with decent technique, SOLOSSA has scored 206 goals in 316 games, 4 per supporter, even turning down the chance to have a crack at playing in the Eredivisie in 2011. India, Sunil Chettri. Now, this is a proud moment for HITC7s and all our Indian subscribers. In all the previous Asian videos I have done, there has been outrage at the fact that Chettri has been overlooked. The second highest scoring active international, joint with Lionel Messi behind Cristiano Ronaldo, Chettri has bagged 65 goals in 103 caps for India. His previous omissions are simply down to the questionable credentials of the Indian Super League, and whilst other Asian stars are plying their trade in some of Europe's top leagues, Chettri has previously struggled in Portugal and the United States. He's still India's talisman though, a hard-working forward who leads by example and scores goals on a regular basis. Iran, Alireza Jahanbakhsh. He may have made a slow start to life on the south coast with Brighton, but we still have to pick Alireza Jahanbakhsh as Iran's finest player. Iran are Asia's highest ranked nation, and probably rightly so, their dogged and determined approach making them tough opposition to break down, as they've shown at the last 2 World Cups. Jahanbakhsh was the top scorer in the Eredivisie last season before becoming Brighton's club record signing. Iraq, ADNAN KADHIM. Iraq have a handful of decent players, including MLS regular Justin Meram, but their finest footballer is ADNAN KADHIM. A quick, fit left-back or wing-back who can put a decent ball into the box, Adnan was born in Baghdad, and he currently plays for Atalanta in Serie A, on loan from Udinese. Jordan, Mohamed El-Damari. Another left-back or wing-back who is his nation's best player, Mohamed El-Damari is an experienced Jordanian international who plays his club football in Saudi Arabia. Japan, Shinji Kagawa. The second best Asian footballer right now in our eyes, Shinji Kagawa is a player most of you will know well. A gifted attacking midfielder who had a 2-year stint at Manchester United sandwiched either side of his time at Borussia Dortmund, Kagawa has been capped 95 times by Japan, and he was the 2012 Asian International Footballer of the Year. Kyrgyz Republic, Anton ZEMLIANUKHIN. Beating Valery Kitchen to top spot for Kyrgyzstan, Anton ZEMLIANUKHIN is a really versatile footballer who can play in attacking midfield, central midfield, or on the wing, with good pace and technique. His country's all-time top scorer, with 12 goals, ZEMLIANUKHIN is a free agent who most recently played in Kazakhstan. Korea Republic, Son Heung-min. Asia's best footballer, Son Heung-min has starred in both the Bundesliga and the Premier League. Quick, technical and clinical in front of goal, Son was the 2015 and 2017 Asian International Footballer of the Year, and he should win the award again in 2018. He won the Asian Games earlier this year with South Korea. Saudi Arabia, FAHAD Al-MUWALLAD. A wide man with tremendous pace and quality on the ball, FAHAD Al-MUWALLAD was the star in the Saudi Arabian side which reached the 2018 World Cup. Al-MUWALLAD has scored 36 goals and made 20 assists in 128 games from the left flank for Al-Ittihad, as well as scoring 10 goals from 49 caps for Saudi Arabia. He went on loan to Levante last season, where he registered 2 appearances, and the 24-year-old still has plenty of room to improve. Kuwait, Fahad Al-Ansari. From one Fahad to another, Kuwait's finest is Fahad Al-Ansari. A dogged and determined central midfielder who is an excellent passer of the ball, Al-Ansari plays his club football in Saudi Arabia, and he has been capped 55 times by Kuwait. Laos, Konasavan Sihavong. It was slim pickings for Laos, but in the end we've gone for Konasavan Sihavong, a central midfielder for Lao Police Club who has been capped 27 times by his country. Lebanon, BASSEL JRADI. The second Copenhagen-born player in this video, BASSEL JRADI is an unusual choice in this list. A skillful attacking midfielder with a wicked long shot, JRADI plays for Hajduk Split in Croatia, and he has been capped twice by the Lebanese national team. JRADI hasn't won any caps since 2017 though, when he decided he'd rather represent Denmark. However, the midfielder hasn't yet been capped by Denmark, so he still qualifies for this list, for now at least. Macau, Leon Kahung. A striker who scored 13 goals in 30 games for Macau, Leon Kahung plays his club football for Liman in Hong Kong. Malaysia, Matthew Davies. Born in Australia but capped 17 times by Malaysia, Matthew Davies is a young dependable right back who plays for Pahang, and we think he's the best footballer from Malaysia, a nation who watch more of our videos than any other AFC nation besides India and Australia. Maldives, ASHFAQ. A superstar in the Maldives, who is still the nation's best player at the age of 33, Ali ASHFAQ has scored 52 goals in 78 games for the national team. An incredibly prolific forward who has played in the Maldives, Malaysia and Brunei, he now plays for TC Sports Club, where he has scored 5 goals in 3 games. Mongolia, MURUN KYRGYZ. Footballing powerhouses Mongolia gave us a real selection headache, ranked 186th in the world, but we think their best player is probably MURUN KYRGYZ, who previously played college football, or soccer, in Missouri. Myanmar, Uang Thu. The scorer of 8 goals from 27 caps for Myanmar national team, 22-year-old Uang Thu is a sharp-shooting second striker who plays his club football on loan at Police Tero in Thailand. Nepal, Rohit Chand. Highly regarded as a youngster, Rohit Chand was linked with the likes of Tottenham and Arsenal as a teenager. Now aged 26, he has won 49 caps for Nepal but hasn't quite hit those heights, playing his club football in Indonesia. Northern Mariana Islands, Enrico Del Rosario. Not even FIFA affiliated, Northern Mariana Islands are AFC affiliated, so they have to feature in this list. Enrico Del Rosario isn't a world beater, but he's young with a bit of potential, which is enough to take it for Northern Mariana. Oman, Ali Al-Habsi. Much more well known, Ali Al-Habsi is particularly well known in England, the former Premier League goalkeeper having turned out for the likes of Bolton, Wigan, Brighton and Reading. Oman have a few decent players, but we think Al-Habsi is still the pick of the bunch, now playing his club football in Saudi Arabia. Pakistan, Zesh Rahman. The 6th most populous nation on earth, Pakistan are absolutely terrible at football. Seriously terrible. They are Asia's lowest ranked nation in the FIFA World Rankings, which is quite incredible. Birmingham-born defender Zesh Rahman is their best player, the 35-year-old who plays in Hong Kong, having won 22 caps for Pakistan. Philippines, Neil Etheridge. A former Chelsea and Fulham Academy member, Neil Etheridge was playing in League One as recently as 2017. However, the 28-year-old shot-stopper with good reflexes now plays for Cardiff City in the Premier League, where he has impressed for the Bluebirds so far this term, despite the team's struggles. Etheridge has won 61 caps for the Philippines, and we think he's their best player. Palestine, Jaka Ibishaya. Born and raised in Slovenia, Jaka Ibishaya has played his club football in Slovenia, Qatar, Thailand and Austria. Capped 14 times by Palestine, the versatile 32-year-old is currently playing lower league football in Austria. Korea DPR, Han Kwang-song. The Democratic People's Republic of Korea, which is neither democratic nor is it very helpful to most of the people who live there, is often better known as North Korea. Han Kwang-song may only be 20 years old, but he's already the nation's outstanding footballer, and the first North Korean to play in Serie A. Contracted to Cagliari, but on loan with Perugia, Kwang-song has won 2 caps for his country to date. Qatar, Rodrigo Tabata. The hosts of the 2022 World Cup, Qatar looks set to be the worst national team in World Cup history. Their best player is a 37-year-old Brazilian-born attacking midfielder named Rodrigo Tabata, a talented journeyman formerly of Santos and Besiktas. Tabata became eligible to play for Qatar after 5 years with Al Rayyan, and he won 14 caps between 2016 and 2017. Singapore, Safuwan Baharudin. A Singapore international who plays his club football in Malaysia with Pahang, Safuwan Baharudin may be the most versatile footballer in Asia, and we think he's the best player from Singapore. Capped 81 times at the age of 27, Baharudin previously spent time on loan at Melbourne City in the A-League. Sri Lanka, Weerasinghe Sujan. It's slim pickings from Sri Lanka, to put it mildly. We'd like to have gone for Ahmed Razik, but since he was born in Berlin and hasn't been capped by Sri Lanka, we can't. In the end, we give it to Weerasinghe Sujan, Sri Lanka's number 1 and the only player in the country's national team playing outside of Sri Lanka's domestic league. Syria, Omar Al-Sommer. I'm sure some of you, like me, watched Syria's World Cup qualification bid with interest, as the Western Asian minnows came closer than anyone expected to qualifying for the finals in Russia. There are a few decent Syrian footballers, but the pick of the bunch is Omar Al-Sommer. A 29-year-old striker who has bagged 85 goals in 85 games for Al Ahly in Saudi Arabia, Al-Sommer is an intelligent forward who is good in the air and absolutely clinical when it comes to his half and even quarter chances. He almost signed for Nottingham Forest in 2012 before his work permit application was turned down. Thailand, Thirathon Bunmathan. There is a surprisingly high number of left-backs in this list, and Thailand's finest is up there with the best of them. Thirathon Bumathan is a 5-time Thai League title winner, and he is currently on loan with BASSEL Kobe in Japan's top flight. Tajikistan, Parvizon Umarbayev. You can always rely on Tajikistan to give me a nice easy name to pronounce. Just consider yourselves fortunate I didn't attempt his middle name. However, Parvizon Umarbayev is Tajikistan's best player, the attacking midfielder currently playing for Lokomotiv Plovdiv in Bulgaria, having come through the youth ranks at Ruben Kazan. Turkmenistan, Ruslan Mingazov. A talented wide man who has made a name for himself in Latvia and the Czech Republic, Ruslan Mingazov is Turkmenistan's outstanding talent, and he currently plays for Pribram on loan from Slavia Prague. Timor-Leste, Juninho Souza. The Timor-Leste national team, which represents East Timor, presents us with our third Brazilian-born player in this list. Juninho Souza is a 29-year-old product of the Sao Paulo Academy who has played almost exclusively in Asia since 2012. Currently representing Kuala Lumpur in the Malaysian Super League, Souza won 10 caps for Timor-Leste before the AFC ruled him and 10 others ineligible to represent the nation in 2017. He still qualifies here though. Chinese Taipei, Tim Chow. Born in St Helens, England, formerly of Wigan Athletic and Ross County, now playing his club football in Serbia and capped once by the Chinese Taipei national team, also known as the Taiwanese national team, it's about time you heard about Tim Chow if you hadn't already. An industrious central midfielder who made his Football League debut as a replacement for Jermaine Pennant, Chow is eligible to represent Chinese Taipei since his granddad was born in China and moved to Taiwan after World War II. United Arab Emirates, Omar Abdul Rahman. One of the best footballers in Asia right now, Omar Abdul Rahman is an extremely gifted, skillful and creative midfield schemer who can play on either flank or through the middle. Currently on loan in Saudi Arabia with Al Hilal, Abdul Rahman was born in Riyadh, but he has been capped 71 times by the United Arab Emirates. Uzbekistan, Odil Akhmedov. There are a few decent Uzbek footballers, but the best of the lot is Odil Akhmedov. A well-rounded and hard-working central midfielder, Akhmedov previously spent 5 years in the Russian Premier League with Anzhi and Krasnodar, and he is now starring for Shanghai SIPG in the Chinese Super League. Vietnam, Nguyen Van Quiet. Despite football being the most popular sport in a nation of almost 100 million people, Vietnam haven't really produced any top-class footballers, and their national team is ranked outside of FIFA's top 100. Nguyen Van Quiet is the country's best player, a right winger or attacking midfielder who plays for Hanoi FC and has won 50 caps for Vietnam's national team. Yemen, AL-SASI. The final player and nation in this video, I'd like to say we end on a high, but that'd be a bit of a lie really. AL-SASI is Yemen's best player right now, a Qatar-based 31-year-old centre forward who has bagged 11 goals from 58 caps for his country. So that's it for our Not Actually a 7. Thanks for watching, give us a like if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to subscribe to HITC7s. You can also follow us on Twitter at HITC7s.